Looking down on Sunderland from the high ground above Silksworth. But today, we're heading for even higher ground. Warden Law, the highest point in the city of Sunderland. That's it. Up there. Somewhere. The dreaded A19. This is Hangman's Lane, until the top of this hill, whereupon it becomes Salter's Lane. It was part of a saltway, connecting Sunderland and Yorkshire, and probably an ancient trackway long before that. No one seems to know why this short stretch is called Hangman's Lane. I don't think there is any evidence of a gallows being here. Although it might have been the site of a gibbet, exhibiting the corpse of someone executed elsewhere. A little warning from the establishment. We did this, and we could do it to you too, if you don't behave. Right, we leave the road here. Warden Law today is more of a long ridge than a hill. It did once have a definite peak, but that has been lost to quarrying. We take the uphill path. Lots of flowering gorse in evidence. Warden Law go-kart track. The flat blocks at Gilly Law. Well, as far as I can tell, this seems to be the highest point. Ironically, you can't see Sunderland from here. All the views are looking towards County Durham. It's a bit of an anticlimax, to be honest. The exact point needs to be defined and marked. A cairn would be good. As said earlier, Warden Law did once have a definite peak, topped by a trig point, and about 50 feet higher than the current highest point. It seems to have been lost to quarrying sometime around 1957. The lost peak must have been somewhere up there. That butterfly could be setting in motion a chain of events that will culminate in a hurricane in South America. Perhaps, many years ago, another butterfly flapped its wings, and the end result was the destruction of Warden Law Peak. Just deviating from the main track here. Warden Law seems to be lacking in recorded folklore. Although it's claimed that it was the site where Alton, last Bishop of Lindisfarne, and first Bishop of Durham, had a vision of St. Cuthbert, which informed him that the saint's remains should be laid to rest at a place called Dunholm, or as we know it today, Durham. Back to the track. River Weir 6.5 miles. I think we are now on the course of the old Hetton Colliery Railway. I'm sure these are old level crossing gates. Operating between 1822 and 1959, the railway carried coal down to the River Weir at Sunderland. The line was the first to be designed for being operated without the use of animal power for movement. Instead, a combination of self-acting inclines, stationary engine-hauled inclines and locomotive working was used. I think this ruin must have been connected with the railway. More relics from the railway past. Coming down off the ridge, to the road that runs between Seaham and Hochinla Spring. Rain on the way. We are now approaching the village of Warden Law. The earliest reference to it dates from 1183. Well, it's not a village exactly. Hardly even a hamlet. Just a scattering of houses. Population given as 33. In 1872, the population was 73, so it's shrinking. Though it does have its own road sign. Looking towards the hill, from the road, it must have been far more distinguishable when it had a proper peak. Turning into Salters Lane, part of the old Salt Way referred to earlier, the road passes between two large mounds. They are generally supposed to be natural features, possibly with barrows on top of them at one time. As usual, there is no recorded folklore attached to them. They don't even have names, although they have in the past been referred to as West Knoll and East Knoll. I call them Gog and Magog, giants in the earth. There have been some rather confused attempts at archaeology over the years, which don't really seem to have come to any definite conclusions about them. There is a smaller mound between the two. which might be a barrow. Continuing up Salters Lane. The go-kart track, with the highest point in Sunderland behind it. And here Salters Lane becomes Hangman's Lanes. This would have been an obvious place for a gibbet. Decaying corpses of criminals swinging in the wind. A grim warning to the living. And on that cheerful note, here we are, back where we originally left the lane. And so this is where we end the video. Hope you enjoyed the trip.